Welcome to the Photo Diaries Podcast. I'm your host, Grace Costa, a photographer of over 2 decades and a business and marketing mentor for commercial photographers. If you're looking to build a booked out business and become an in-demand photographer who is respected and valued, you're in the right place. Thanks for joining me today. Let's open the latest diary. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today we're going to have a casual discussion and I want to ask you, what will you wish you started sooner? Could it be coaching? Maybe you wish you started coaching sooner. You got support in your business sooner. Well, in business, it's never a straight line. You have wins, you have losses, you have moments where you feel totally on top of things, you're kicking butt, you're getting great clients, you've got momentum, everything's going super well. And then you've got moments where you feel completely stuck and unsure, you're unsteady. And that's usually in those moments when you need help the most. But instead of getting support and reaching out, you actually put it off. And you tell yourself, it'll be fine, it'll work itself out, I'll deal with it later. And then later comes around and then nothing changes. And then you see those patterns over again. You're stuck again. Something goes wrong. You don't know how to handle it. You're not seeing growth. You're repeating the same patterns. So I want to ask yourself this question. I want you to ask yourself this question is what I meant to say. What do you wish you started sooner? And I think your answer would be getting support sooner so that you were further ahead in your business, so that you didn't wait till things felt dire. From my experience with coaching, I'm actually on the other opposite end of the spectrum. I've gone quite extreme with support, and I've had support right from the beginning of my business. Honestly, support on steroids. And even if I was just to dissect the last 12 months, I was in 2 masterminds at the same time with 2 different coaches. And I know that sounds completely crazy. Why would I do that? But their offers came at the same time. And I was already in one, and then the other coach who I've been with for years and years offered me to do this discounted mastermind thing. And both the coaches have supported me in different ways. One is an expert in sales and mindset, and the other one is an expert in personal brand and building coaching programs and things like that. So they both had their purpose, and I knew that I could learn a lot from both of them. And to be honest, I have invested thousands of dollars in my education and in my business, and it has absolutely been worth it for me because I value education. I value being able to skill myself. I value being able to do things properly, knowing how to run a business well. I didn't come from a business background. I mean, my family had a business, but I wouldn't consider I came from a business background. I didn't go to university and study a master's of business admin or whatever. No formal studies in that respect, except a qualification in photography and digital marketing. So I've joined lots of one-on-one coaches, group programs, short programs, long-term mentoring, 6-month programs, masterminds, you name it, non-stop support. I'm kind of addicted to it, and I trust that I'm better with the support than without it. So that's just my personal experience. And I know that when I pay for these experiences and for this support, I pay attention. And that's with any of us. When you pay attention. And the more you pay, the more attention you pay and the more effort you put in. You show up to all your coaching calls, you show up to all the lessons, you watch them twice, you do the homework because you've invested a lot of money. And deep down that the more money you invest, it puts the pressure on to get a return on that investment. So that's the work you kind of have to commit to doing if you are going to take on a coach. So I can hear some of you say, yes, but it's all well and good, but I can't afford to do that. Well, I want to ask you, what is it costing you not to have the support? In time, in stress, in missed opportunities, in inconsistent income, you've been trying to piece things together on your own. It's totally exhausting. You're getting like advice from podcasts, from YouTube, from Instagram, from friends, other photographers, and you're kind of like piecemealing all the information. And that's not a strong strategy. That's not a strong backbone for you to build a business from. So you're going to be, in reaction mode, guessing mode, flying by the seat of your pants, hoping it'll all work out. And, you can only work that way for so long unless you've got somebody with you. You might be married to somebody in business and that can be helping you along. But if you're not, you need to take matter into your own hands. And I consider taking my business and myself seriously. And I want to recommend that to you as well. Take your business seriously because at the end of the day, you are in control of how your business turns out. So invest in coaching, invest in a mentor, a program that supports you properly in business, learn how to run a business, and, pay more than you're comfortable spending. I don't mean pay more than what's out of reach for you, but pay more than you're comfortable spending. Because as I said, when you pay attention. And I know this, the more I have invested, the more committed I am. And at the moment, I'm currently in a mastermind that felt very expensive. And honestly, I did hesitate. I questioned whether I needed it to go to the next level. But I also trusted that the coach I signed up with was going to have my back and that she would be worth the investment and I'd be able to make my money back for the entire fee. And I'll tell you a story. In the first month, I doubled, in the first month, our coaching calls were worth the investment I paid for the whole 6-month program. I was like, I've just made that back in the first month of the group coaching because she gave me such, systemized, customized advice for me that made me go, holy shit, she's a good coach. She is a good coach. I'm so glad I signed up with her. And what I did, I actually wrote her a voice note straight after that coaching call that I said was the first one and it felt so good. I sent her a voice note saying how excited I am that I joined and that, the support she'd given me so far, even though it was such a short time frame, I'd only just started with her, was so valuable that I just had to say thanks straight away. So I had to share my excitement. And it can take time, and there are a lot of coaches out there, a lot of mentors out there, but somebody that you resonate with, somebody that has the skills to the problems you might have to help you solve those problems, and somebody who is going to take you in the right direction, and somebody who's collaborative, somebody who's honest, somebody who's skilled, and somebody you respect. So search for somebody like that. Maybe that's me, maybe that's someone else, but in particular, I do support commercial photographers, and there's not that many photographer coaches and mentors out there that specialize in that area. So consider this for yourself. Do you want to keep trying to do it all on your own, to take the long journey, the long route? If you do need this business to work, if you do need to earn a living from your photography business, if the cost of living has increased and you need to scale, then this is your permission slip to invest in yourself, invest in your business, take it seriously, and make the changes, do the work. And that's all I have to say about that. It's your permission slip. If you want my support, of course, we can work together. I help early stage commercial photographers stop second guessing themselves and start running a confident, clear, and profitable business using my 4-part framework. It covers money and mindset, branding, marketing, and sales. So if you want to find out more, you can head to the show notes, and you can even book a free clarity call to see if mentoring is right for you where you are at the stage you're at with your business right now. You can also send me a DM at Grace Costa Photographer on Instagram or grace@gracecosta.com. Plenty of ways to get in touch with me. I hope this episode was the kick up the butt you needed, and I'll catch you on the next. That's it for today's episode. If you found it valuable, I invite you to leave a review so more people can find this podcast, or simply subscribe to be notified when each new episode drops. Until next time, see you later.